You feel something pressing at the edge of your awareness and you keep trying to ignore it. But the more you push it away, the louder it becomes. You tell yourself you are overthinking, yet your internal reactions changed without your permission. You notice things you used to ignore. You feel tension in places that were once automatic. Old conversations feel heavy. Old roles feel empty. And none of this means you are weak. You are overloaded, not broken. You are outgrowing the version of yourself that survived on silence and emotional shortcuts. You avoid situations that shrink you. You pull back from people who only notice you when they need something. You feel a quiet internal shift that you cannot explain. And this shift is not random. It is the signal you keep pretending not to feel. The more you try to return to your old patterns, the more your body refuses to cooperate. The more you repeat familiar behaviors, the more foreign they feel. You are not losing motivation. You are losing tolerance for the things that kept you small. You are not disconnecting. You are finally noticing what drains you. You are not falling behind. You stepped outside the limits that used to define you. And this is the part you avoid admitting. You outgrew the environment that once felt safe. You are trying to live inside an identity that no longer fits. Every time you silence yourself to keep the peace, something inside you tightens. Every time you pretend you are fine, your mind sends a subtle internal protest. Every time you try to shrink back into who you were, the discomfort gets sharper. And if you ignore this shift, you will miss the one signal that is only sent once, the moment your new self finally wants to take over. Viral block. You are not tired of life. You are tired of lowering yourself. You are not losing yourself. You are shedding what never aligned with you. You are not confused. You are noticing things you were blind to because you weren't ready before. Grounding. What you feel is not mystical. It is not supernatural. It is not a hidden force. It is a human recalibration. Your internal system is rejecting patterns that kept you stuck. Your attention is shifting direction because something in you refuses to repeat what limits you. Your discomfort is not a warning. It is information. Shift layer. The transition already started. You sense it when you no longer want to respond out of habit. You feel it when old conversations feel pointless. You see it when your intuition reacts faster than your explanations. This is not instability. This is inner accuracy growing stronger. Viral block. You are not falling apart. You are aligning with yourself. You are not failing. You are rising out of your old baseline. You are not disappearing. You are stepping into the identity you tried to delay. Micro practice. Pay attention to the moments when you automatically want to slip back into an old reaction, but something inside says no. That tiny signal is not fear. It is your new internal alignment beginning to speak. Alignment. You are moving toward a version of yourself that does not negotiate your worth. You are stepping into a mindset that does not accept being minimized. You are learning that discomfort is not a problem to fix. It is a direction to follow. Your internal signals are sharper because your old coping strategies expired. Your clarity is rising because you stopped numbing what you felt. Final rise. And if you keep ignoring this shift, you will miss the one moment that does not repeat. Your inner system does not send a second copy. This is your window to stop pretending you are still the person you used to be. Something in you already changed, and it will not wait for your permission. Your new identity is forming, and the only question left is whether you will listen to the signal that arrives only once. You keep feeling like something is trying to get your attention, and every time you try to brush it off, it comes back stronger. You tell yourself you are just stressed, but the stress doesn't behave like it used to. It shows up in moments that were once effortless. It appears when you try to force yourself into old routines. It hits hardest when you pretend nothing is shifting. Your reactions changed. Your priorities changed. Your patience changed. You no longer tolerate what drains you. You no longer play the roles that made you smaller. You no longer feel aligned with people who expect you to stay the same. And this is not mood. This is not burnout. This is not confusion. This is a quiet, internal upgrade that you have been delaying for too long. You feel uncomfortable not because something is wrong, but because something old is refusing to survive inside you. You sense the tension because your internal system doesn't want the life you once settled for. You feel the distance because you are outgrowing who you were when you didn't know better. And every time you ignore this, you lose a piece of the clarity trying to rise in you. The signs are subtle but constant. You notice small inconsistencies faster. You recognize manipulation quicker. You feel irritation where you once felt obligation. You walk away instead of explaining yourself. You stay silent instead of seeking approval. These are not random changes. These are behavioral signals that your identity is shifting. Viral block. You are not unstable. You are becoming precise. You are not cold. You are protecting your emotional baseline. You are not detached. You are noticing the truth beneath your old habits. Human grounding. There is nothing dramatic happening to you. This is what growth feels like when you finally stop numbing your inner signals. It is not loud. It is not glamorous. It is not sudden. It is a slow internal refusal to keep repeating patterns that take more than they give. When you stop running on autopilot, you feel the friction of every outdated behavior. When you stop lowering your standards, you notice how many places required you to shrink. When you stop abandoning yourself, you see how often you were asked to. The discomfort is not the problem. The discomfort is the evidence that you stepped into a new psychological reality. Shift layer. You are not waiting for transformation. You are already in it. You feel it when you cannot force enthusiasm for what once excited you. You feel it when surface-level conversations feel empty. You feel it when you try to pretend you haven't changed, but your body refuses the performance. Viral block. You are not breaking down. You are upgrading. You are not disappearing. You are choosing alignment over approval. You are not lost. You are stepping out of an outdated version of yourself. Micro-practice. Notice the exact moment each day when your instinct says you should pretend, and your deeper self says you will not. That micro-moment is the internal signal that leads you forward. Alignment. You are moving toward a self that doesn't chase validation. You are moving toward clarity that no longer negotiates for space. You are moving toward a mindset that refuses to apologize for existing. Every shift inside you has a purpose. Every discomfort is part of your recalibration. Every quiet refusal is a step away from who you were trained to be. Final rise. And if you keep suppressing these signals, you will miss the one moment that only arrives once. The moment your inner system tries to transition you into a reality built on accuracy, not survival. This signal is not repeatable. It will not wait. It will not send a reminder. It shows up once, and only those who are ready to listen catch it. You feel it now because you are ready, even if you do not want to admit it. Something in you has already shifted, and the rest of your life will adjust around it if you let it. You keep wondering why everything familiar feels slightly out of place, and the truth is simple. Your internal settings no longer match the life you built around your past self. You feel disconnected from routines that once held you together. You feel irritated by conversations you used to tolerate. You feel a strange clarity rising in moments when you expected confusion. These shifts are not accidental. They are psychological signals that you are transitioning out of old frameworks, even if the rest of your life hasn't caught up yet. You notice patterns faster. You question things you used to accept without thought. You sense when someone's expectations are trying to pull you backward. You feel immediate resistance to anything that minimizes you. And the more you try to pretend nothing is changing, the more your body pushes back. This is not instability. This is internal truth becoming louder than old conditioning. The emotional friction you feel is the cost of not listening. Viral block. You are not overwhelmed. You are outgrowing the boundaries that once kept you functional. You are not detached. You are becoming selective with what enters your mind. You are not losing connection. You are losing tolerance for anything that asks you to shrink. Human grounding. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not malfunctioning. You are finally meeting the version of yourself that existed beneath the survival patterns you learned early in life. When you stop agreeing to emotional roles that never fit you, the emptiness you feel is not a void. It is space clearing for the identity you suppressed. When you stop forcing yourself to be who others expect, the disorientation you feel is not a problem. It is a reset. When you stop numbing your reactions, the discomfort you feel is not danger. It is accuracy. Shift layer. You are already shifting. You feel it in the way your instincts speak louder than your explanations. You feel it when you cannot fake enthusiasm for things you once used to chase. You feel it when someone's familiar behavior suddenly feels transparent. Your internal system is not waiting for permission. It is already rearranging your priorities based on who you are becoming, not who you were trained to be. Viral block. You are not breaking down. You are breaking out of old limitations. You are not confused. You are finally seeing the truth beneath the noise. You are not fading. You are stepping into a reality that requires a stronger version of you. Micro practice. Pay attention to one moment today when your automatic reaction feels outdated. Don't judge it. Just notice it. That is your inner system telling you what no longer aligns. Alignment. You are being pulled toward a version of yourself that values clarity over approval. You are moving toward relationships where you do not have to earn your worth. You are stepping into choices that do not require you to abandon your needs. The resistance you feel is not a warning. It is a signal that you are stepping out of the old framework where you stayed small to stay accepted. Final rise. And if you ignore these internal shifts, you risk missing the one chance your system gives you to step into a life built on who you truly are. This moment is not repeatable. This signal does not send itself twice. You are feeling all of this now because something inside you has already moved forward, and the rest of you is trying to catch up. The question is not whether the shift is happening. It already is. The question is whether you will keep pretending you do not hear the signal meant for you and only for you. You keep feeling pulled in a direction you cannot describe, and every time you try to settle back into who you used to be, something inside you refuses. Your old rhythm feels impossible to recreate. Your old motivation feels artificial. Your old comfort zones feel too tight. This is not a phase. This is not random. This is the psychological moment when your identity begins to separate from the patterns that once defined you. You feel restless not because you are lost, but because you are stepping out of versions of yourself that were built for survival, not alignment. You sense irritation in places where you once stayed polite. You feel distance from people who never really saw you. You feel boredom with routines that once distracted you. These are not personality changes. These are behavioral signals that your internal baseline is shifting, and if you ignore them, you will end up fighting the very changes that are trying to free you. Viral block. You are not tired of life. You are tired of repeating a version of yourself that no longer exists. You are not shutting down. You are shutting out what drains your clarity. You are not falling behind. You are moving ahead of everything that once limited you. Human grounding. What you feel is not dramatic. It is not extreme. It is not dangerous. It is a normal psychological process that happens when your identity evolves faster than your outer life. You stop fitting into conversations you once entertained. You stop forcing enthusiasm for paths you outgrew. You stop apologizing for reactions that reveal your boundaries. The friction is simply the gap between who you were and who you are becoming. When you try to live in both spaces at once, everything feels wrong. When you try to hold on to old expectations, everything feels heavy. When you try to shrink back into familiar roles, everything feels false. Shift layer. You already crossed the internal threshold. You noticed it when you started paying attention to small signs that once blended into the background. You felt it when you responded differently without planning to. You saw it when someone's behavior no longer had the power it used to. These are not coincidences. They are indicators that your internal map has changed. Viral block. You are not breaking. You are realigning. You are not fading. You are detaching from patterns that demanded too much. You are not confused. You are recognizing truths you used to ignore. Micro-practice. Notice one moment today when your mind says yes, but your body says no. The body is usually the first to recognize what no longer fits. Alignment. You are being pulled toward a version of yourself that refuses emotional shortcuts. You are moving toward choices that protect your stability. You are moving toward people who respond to your presence, not your usefulness. This internal shift is your system recalibrating toward clarity, respect, and psychological accuracy. Nothing external needs to change first. The shift always begins inside. Final rise. And if you keep dismissing this tension, you will miss the one-time signal that marks the turning point in your life. Your system will not repeat this message. It does not send reminders. It delivers a single moment of internal recognition, and you are in that moment right now. You feel the pull because you are ready. You feel the tension because you are growing. You feel the discomfort because your old identity is no longer capable of carrying you forward. This is your window. This is your signal. This is the transition your life has been building toward, even if you tried not to see it. You keep trying to convince yourself that nothing important is happening, yet every part of your internal world is telling you otherwise. Your reactions are quicker, your intuition is sharper, your patience is thinner. You sense when something is off before you can explain it. You feel drained by situations you used to tolerate with ease. You detach faster from people who minimize you. You no longer feel the need to justify your boundaries. And even though you keep calling it stress or fatigue, deep down you know it is something else. This is the moment when your inner system prepares you for a level of life you have not lived yet. The confusion you feel is not a failure of clarity. It is the breaking point between the identity that kept you safe and the identity that will carry you forward. You feel restless because your mind is done accepting what doesn't match you. You feel irritated because your emotional baseline is rejecting outdated expectations. You feel distant because your attention is no longer willing to invest in places where your worth is overlooked. Viral block. You are not closing off. You are closing out what no longer deserves access. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming accurate. You are not losing interest. You are losing illusions. Human grounding. This is a normal psychological shift. It happens when your deeper self stops cooperating with patterns that drain you. You start noticing contradictions that were always there. You start questioning behaviors you once normalized. You start recognizing the emotional cost of staying the same. The tension you feel is simply your inner world trying to rise while your outer life tries to hold you back. You feel pulled in two directions because you cannot stay who you were and become who you are meant to be at the same time. Shift layer. You already crossed the internal line. You know this because old habits feel wrong the moment you try to repeat them. You know this because your internal signals respond faster than your logic. You know this because you can no longer pretend that certain situations are acceptable. Viral block. You are not breaking down. You are breaking patterns. You are not falling apart. You are falling out of alignment with what harms you. You are not lost. You are stepping into a version of yourself that no longer abandons you. Micro-practice. Pay attention to the exact moment each day when you sense an internal pull away from something familiar. That pull is your new identity refusing to shrink for comfort. Alignment. You are being pushed toward a life that does not require self-betrayal. You are being pulled toward people who respond to your truth rather than your silence. You are being guided toward choices that support your clarity rather than challenge it. Your system is not harming you. It is helping you outgrow what you were never meant to stay inside. Final rise. And if you ignore this shift, you will miss the one-time signal that only appears once in a lifetime. It does not repeat. It does not wait. It does not warn you twice. It appears when your inner self is ready to step forward, and you feel it now because that moment has arrived. The question is not whether the shift is happening. It already unfolded. The question is whether you will listen to the signal that was meant specifically for you at the exact moment you became capable of receiving it. You are standing at the threshold between who you were and who you are becoming, and even if you hesitate, the transition has already begun. Something in you has moved, and the rest of your life will follow. Observe what changes next. Tune in, recalibrate, shift your perception.